Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ray Lozano, Executive Director of Mexican Town Community Development Corporation, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to host this press conference here today. We are the site of the Michigan Secretary of State office, but we're here in our Galleria too, so we're proud to display more of our facilities for you. I've met the Secretary a couple of times throughout my recent years here, and when I began to look at the background, I thought it'd be important to point out a few things that she's been able to achieve along the way. Jocelyn Benson is Michigan's 43rd Secretary of State. In this role, she's become one of the nation's prominent leaders in ensuring elections are secure and accessible. Secretary Benson's work overseeing Michigan's 2020 and 2022 general elections, both of which drew record-breaking turnout and were more secure than any prior election in state history, and it earned her national recognition, including the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award and the Presidential Citizens Medal. A graduate of Harvard Law School and an expert on civil rights law, education law, and election law, Secretary Benson served as Dean of Wayne State University Law School in Detroit when she was appointed Dean at age 36. She became the youngest woman in U.S. history to lead a top 100 accredited law school. She continues to serve as Vice Chair of the Advisory Board for the Levin Center at Wayne Law, which she founded with former U.S. Senator Carl Levin. Previously, Secretary Benson was Associate Professor and Associate Director of Wayne's Law, Damon J. Keith Center for Civil Rights. And in 2015, she became one of the youngest women in history to be inducted into the Michigan Women's Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present Secretary Jocelyn Benson.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray, and thank you, Councilwoman, for being here today. I'm so grateful for you both and for the entire Mexican Town community, including the Mexican Town CDC, for hosting us here today, along with our great Councilwoman Gabriela Santiago Romero of District 6, and a dear friend and a great leader for the city. I'm so proud to also be here today in Southwest Detroit as we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Since I first took office in 2019, I have made it the mission of this department to meet people where they are and make state government work for them. We've done that in so many ways. We've doubled the number of services available online or at self-service stations in convenient locations like Kroger or Meijer stores. And we've expanded our mobile office program to show up in communities like this one so that we can be sure we're meeting people where they are all across the state and delivering effective state services. We have a fleet of 7 vehicles on the road visiting communities all across the state, from here in Mexican Town to Mackinac Island to Marquette. And today I'm here to highlight some incredible work our department has been doing to ensure our services and information are accessible to every Michigander, no matter what language they speak or read. Because according to the U.S. Census data, nearly 1 million Michigan residents speak a language other than English as their primary language. Spanish is the #1 non-English language spoken by Michiganders, followed by Arabic. And at the Department of State, it is our responsibility to provide excellent, efficient service to every Michigan resident, regardless of what languages they speak. We consistently recruit bilingual branch office staff to work in communities like this one in Southwest Detroit, where our offices serve large numbers of non-English speaking residents. But we know there's still more we can do to overcome language barriers and efficiently serve everyone who comes into our offices. So our branch office employees on the ground came together to establish a working group to think outside the box and find ways we can better serve our non-English speaking customers. Representatives from each of our 9 districts statewide meet each month to report on language needs in their local offices and look for ways to improve their customer service to their residents. It's important to point out that both U.S. citizens and non-citizens alike have language access needs in our branch offices. And while only U.S. citizens are able to register to vote or cast a ballot in an election, you do not need to be a citizen to get a driver's license, a state ID, or a real ID, or to register a vehicle in the state of Michigan. And it was through our branch office language work group, our hardworking employees, that came up with an innovative technology solution that was brought to light. And today I'm proud to announce that this technology is being deployed in our branch offices statewide. It's called Pocketalk. It's a translation device that looks like a smartphone and provides real-time translations in Spanish, Arabic, Bengali, and more than 80 other languages. Here's how it works. A customer selects their preferred language, then speaks into the device using that language. The device immediately translates, providing a message to the branch staff member in audio and written format. The staff member then uses it the same way, providing an immediate translation for the customer. And this ensures that everywhere in our state, whether we have bilingual staff or not, we're able to meet people where they are and deliver services efficiently, securely, and in their native language. Now I'm going to bring our Deputy Chief of Staff, Luz Mesa, to help me demonstrate. Luz?
Good afternoon. How can we help you today?
Buenas tardes. ¿En qué podemos ayudarle?
Necesito renovar las placas de mi carro.
I need to renew my car's license plates.
Thank you. Thank you, Luz. I'm very proud of this employee-driven idea and this important technology to reach residents all around their state. We rolled these devices out in our Mexicantown office here in the same building that we're in today, and in other offices all over Michigan where customers are regularly speaking multiple languages. We received great feedback from our pilot program from customers and branch office staff alike. Customers felt less anxious and more welcome, and staff were better able to serve our customers and keep wait times down. And this isn't just branches where Pocketalk has provided essential translation services. We've used them at our Road to Restoration clinics, where citizens come to meet with our staff to renew or restore their licensability in our state. We've used it for driver's assessments and with our mobile offices. In less than 1 year, Pocketalk translated nearly 300,000 interpretations in Spanish and in languages other than English all across our state. In addition to Spanish and Arabic, the top languages used were French, Ukrainian, Vietnamese, and Bengali. Pocketalk not only enables us to more efficiently serve residents whose first language isn't English, it allows us to better serve English-speaking customers too, and keep our wait times in our offices down. Pocketalk is the latest example of how we are making government work better for the people of Michigan. But our work to expand language access is not limited just to customer service in our branch offices. The language services portion of our website translates our customer service and voter information into 19 different languages so that residents can easily find what they need online. And our self-service stations in communities all across our state offer 9 language options. Residents can renew their tabs, renew or replace their driver's license and a state ID, or eligible citizens can register to vote at these locations. There's 164 stations in communities throughout Michigan, and you can go to a self-service station or find one near you at michigan.gov/SOS. And we're constantly working with community partners like Mexicantown CDC and nonprofits and refugee assistance organizations to engage in active conversation and identify additional barriers that are being encountered by non-English speaking or non-English proficient residents so that we can meet them where they are and ensure they're getting great customer service. Most recently, we brought our mobile office to several farms in West Michigan to help their migrant workers get IDs. We've heard firsthand from these guest workers how helpful it is for them to have their state ID, in many cases a real ID, as well as the peace of mind it brings to our employers who know that they're hiring people who are credentialed. Language access is also a critical component of our voter engagement and education work. We translate nonpartisan voter information into many different languages for citizens who speak English as a second language. And we've hosted several simultaneously interpreted voter education webinars and workshops in languages such as Spanish and Arabic. I'm really proud of the work we've done and will continue to do to improve language access in our department's services, embracing our state's diversity, and ensuring we are serving everyone effectively, meeting people where they are, improves outcomes for all of us. Now, I'd like to welcome my friend, Councilmember Gabriela Santiago Romero, to say a few words. Councilwoman.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Secretary, for all the work that you've been doing. District 6, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. As has been mentioned, my name is Gabriela Santiago Romero. I'm also known as Gabby, and I am the proud city council member here for District 6. I'm an immigrant. I was born in Mexico, but raised here in Southwest Detroit. And for me, it's incredibly important that we make sure that our government is accessible to everyone. As someone that was brought here for better opportunities, I have fallen in love with the city of Detroit. I have fallen in love with our neighbors, and we all deserve opportunities. We all deserve to make sure that we have information that we can understand so that we can better engage in our cities and in our state as well. I am so incredibly inspired by the work that our Secretary of State is doing to make sure that we are not just having accessible and safe voting, but that we're also able to do so, that we're also able to access the services from the Secretary of State's office in languages that we speak. I always like to say that English is not this country's first language. We have many, many languages that are spoken here because we are a nation of immigrants. And the work that is being done right now at the state level is work that we're trying to bring down here at the city level as well. I'm proud to announce that our office passed a language access ordinance as well to make sure that city services are going to be translated in any language that any resident speaks here in the city of Detroit. And quite frankly, I'm now realizing we have a lot more to do. We too wish to speak to the different departments in the city of Detroit to ask them what kind of needs that they have, what are residents asking for them, so that we're better able to serve them. And quite frankly, we're going to look to purchase some of these pocket speakers because we do outreach in the community. We go door to door every summer to speak with our residents, and many of them do not speak English. So I want to make sure that my staff, our volunteers, are able to speak with residents, share information with them, but also hear from them what issues they're experiencing, what they would need from us, so that we're better able to serve them. So again, just incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be here. So thankful for the work that our Secretary of State's office is doing, and happy to be able to continue these efforts here locally as well.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman. I really appreciate your leadership on behalf of your district, and I know what you've just also exemplified is how important it is for our state and local leaders to partner together as we work to ensure every citizen, every resident has access to state services and city services together, and I'm eager to continue our partnership in the months and years ahead. Now I'm going to turn it back to our host, Ray Lozano, for some additional comments.
Well, thank you again. I would like to commend the Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, and the SOS offices for their continuing efforts to better serve and improve service to their clients and customers. I'm old enough to remember that I would stand in a long line with my father on a cold day in April when everyone would become eligible to renew their license plates. I know most of you haven't gone through that kind of an experience. Even when I began to work here over 6 years ago, I would come in the morning, I'd pull a ticket when I arrived, and then I knew I had more than a 2-hour wait as I would see the room full of folks elbow to elbow waiting to be served. I would like to thank the Secretary for exploring the use of Pocketalk device. I spent a good part of my career assisting folks who did not speak English. I've also found that interpretation involving the use of family or friends or neighbors is demeaning and a real violation of confidentiality. Even worse, the use of a child to translate makes them become the interpreter of life for their family and involves them in matters well beyond their knowledge. It also forces them to mature much quicker and sooner than they need be. Again, thank you, Secretary Benson, for your efforts to assist the public, continue the great work, and also hope that you continue to hire bilingual folks who additionally can provide the cultural understanding that is so important in communication. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree, Ray. I'm really proud that in our administration we've worked to create positions for staff who can speak multiple languages, because it's so critical that our staff reflects and serves the beautiful diversity of this state. And we'll love to continue doing that in the months and years ahead. And now I'm happy to take a few questions. Yes?
You touched upon this at the end of this, but can you talk a little bit more about why using Pocketalk will be better than using a phone? I know you had mentioned it was the need for people to stand at the counter.
Well, I think the accuracy of Pocketalk is really important. A lot of times when you're engaged in a conversation about a transaction here in the state of Michigan, it can include a lot of technical terminology and state-specific needs. So Pocketalk is uniquely programmed to help address those needs, whereas a typical translator may not effectively or accurately translate in the way that was going to be helpful for both the customer and the staff member.
It's also HIPAA compliant.
Yes, did you want to? Oh, it's also HIPAA compliant.
Okay, Valerie Chapman, what is the long-term reward that you hope to see from this?
Well, I'll say, I don't know if any others want to add, I think it's really important because our branch offices in particular are oftentimes one of the first places people come to as a representation of the state of Michigan. What being welcomed into these offices with the ability to communicate effectively, privately, what your needs are and have them met, it pays dividends for communicating to a member of a community who may not feel included, that you belong here, that you are safe here, that you are welcome here, that we see you and we will serve you effectively and make sure you have all you need to succeed in this state. I think it's really important for every interaction that a resident has with government to communicate that inclusivity, that support, that safety, and my hope is that Pocketalk will be one more piece in our effort to do that.
Well, thank you, Madam Secretary. And thank you, Ray, for bringing up the very real reality of children having to be translators for their parents. That was me when growing up. I would actually go to Secretary of State or even going through the immigration process. It was very demeaning to have folks that really did not seem to care to communicate with us or to even serve us. So this is, again, inspiring and encouraging. But also, as someone that has worked elections, I think something like this is going to be incredibly important as well. Just this last election cycle, I was not on the ballot, so I was working for the elections and realize that we still have a lot more to go when it comes to the ballot themselves, when it comes to staff that's at our polling locations. I had to quickly get volunteers to speak that either speak English or that either speak Spanish or Arabic to see if they can help us at these polling locations that we're in need. So I think for us, this is a beginning. It's an inspiration and hope to do more so that we are able to engage more people in the process. Yes.
Just noticing that this is being rolled out in the last day of the fiscal year, what are the budget implications of taking this statewide, and what happens if we do reach a government shutdown?
Well, I'll first say all the information we have right now indicates that we'll be able to come to an agreement in alignment with the law's requirements, and as a result, branches will be open. All our employees will report to work tomorrow. We're closely monitoring all the ongoing conversations about the budget, and we'll be communicating more, I think, in the hours ahead, as many others will as well. But that said, the initial cost to get Pocketalk up and running all across the state was only about $155,000, and it only cost about $42,000 annually. So it's actually a lot more cost-effective to do this to reach more people than other options, and so it not only works, but it's cost-effective too.
So you're confident money for this will be in the fiscal year 26 budget then?
Oh yes, I mean again, those conversations are still ongoing, but I don't see any of those conversations impacting this program. Thank you all again for being here today to celebrate not just Hispanic Heritage Month, but another effort that we're taking to ensure government is truly accessible to all. Thank you.